Hi, and welcome everyone to Ethereal Encounters Unveiled. Today we are broadcasting live on the United Public Radio Network and the UFO Paranormal Radio Network, 105.3 on the Gulf Coast and 107.7 FM in beautiful New Orleans. Hello, everyone. Always such a joy to be here on this wonderful Wednesday. And we are live today. And I'm always excited when we're live on a Wednesday because, as many of you guys know, I had a lot of pre-recordings on Wednesday, but to accommodate so many of our wonderful guests, we decided to go live. So we have 3 shows a week for now, and they are on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So please be kind. Hit the subscribe button on my YouTube channel. That kind of helps the algorithm push things along. And of course, if you're listening on the radio or watching us on all the different platforms, you can also subscribe to whatever platform you're on. I would be ever so grateful. So again, thank you for joining us today. And again, we thank the United Public Radio Network and the UFO Paranormal Radio Network. So many blessings to them. Please kindly support them as well, wherever you see them on social media. So yeah, we're on SoundCloud too, all over the place. So pretty super excited about today's topic. Oh, and before I mention that, if you're in any of the chats, please be sure and join us. We love to see you in the live chat, and we love taking your questions. I try and make sure I recognize each and every one of you. A lot of you don't know that we're doing lives, but if you can kind of share it, tell your friends, I would be, again, ever so grateful. So don't be shy, pop in the chat. We love hearing from you. So as I was saying, pretty excited about this topic today. It's something that I haven't really talked about yet on this network. So that's exciting in and of itself. And I'm going to be asking you some questions too, like, have you ever felt the need to get a total energetic reset, like a way to truly wash off the stress, that stale energy that we all feel? I mean, we all feel it, especially nowadays. And of course, there's the worries of the rest of the world. So we all take baths, right? I mean, even if you're a shower person, occasionally you pop in the tub, right? I mean, I know I do, especially when I need that submergence of water. There's just something so sacred about it. And you light your candles, you do your thing. But we have such an amazing surprise for you today because we're unlocking a secret with a woman who has mastered the art. Her name is Chanda Parkinson. She's the author of a book, which is phenomenal. I love it. I took a bunch of notes for next time I take my bath. I don't know which one I'm going to do first, but I'm super stoked. And the book is called The Book of Ritual Baths, A Guide to Spiritual Cleansing and Renewal. So we're going to go beyond the bubble bath and we're going to explore ancient wisdom. Isn't that exciting? And practical recipes, which there are loads in the book, and profound ingredients. That's the key, I think. This way you can manifest, release, and completely recharge your life. So get ready to take notes because we're diving deep into how to transform your tub into an altar of healing. And Chanda is going to share 3 of the most common mistakes that people make when they're trying to cleanse their space and their spiritual energy. So without further ado, let's bring her on board. Hi, how are you? It's so good to see you here.
Good to see you too. Thank you so much for having me.
Super excited, super excited. So, as you heard, we're going to be saying hello. Patsy, much love, my dear friend. Heidi, we love Heidi. So good to see you, Heidi. My star sister is Heidi. She is just so awesome. And of course, they're all saying hello to you as
Oh,
well.
oh my gosh, how fun. I
It
love
is fun. It's lots of fun. And we get some people that are kind of shy. They're in the chat, but they don't say much, but that's okay. We love them here anyway. So please be sure and join us in the chat. We absolutely love having you. So I want to keep calling you Shonda, but it's
Chanda, like panda.
Shanda, like panda. Shanda like panda. It's such a beautiful name, such a
Thank
beautiful name.
you. Thank
So
you.
Chanda like panda, that is so cute. Tell us about yourself. And I'm going to step aside for a minute and let you talk about your path and your journey and like
Mhm.
what took you to where you are today and what inspired you to write this book. So there you go, girl.
I got it. I have an interesting path and story. I think it's kind of always fascinating to me how people come into the work that they do, especially in a spiritual or metaphysical arena. And we all have our own, yeah, our own backstories. And this dates me a bit, but I was first exposed to metaphysical topics, mediumship, the tarot in the late 90s. It was a really pivotal time in my life. I'd experienced some significant loss and grief with the death of loved ones. And it really prompted me and triggered me to open my mind. To that point, I had known nothing about spiritualism or uh, the esoteric or the supernatural, and I was just getting exposed to it, and it somehow just felt like home. And I dove in head first. I was living on the East Coast. I don't live in the on the East Coast now, but I was on the East Coast. I was nannying and going to graduate school, and it was when at that time I was exposed to spiritualism and mediumship and tarot. And gosh, it was really hard to stay focused on my graduate school studies at that time because I was so excited about what I was learning and exploring and experiencing. And then I moved back to the Midwest after graduation, and I just couldn't stop. It was like a thirst and a hunger, and in between, being gainfully employed, I started to do readings on the side. And I'm a thinker. I'm a word witch. I'm a psychic witch. And so eventually, all of that kind of culminated into launching my writing practice and becoming a published author with Llewellyn. So it's quite an interesting journey. It's hard to believe that it's already been over 20 years that I'm here,
Wow.
and I have created this body of work. But what sort of prompted the Book of Ritual Baths um, was a conversation that I had with my acquisitions editor, and she said, like, we don't have this as a topic. A
Yeah.
lot of people are interested in it, and I have had some experiences myself. She said, "Does this feel like a good fit?" And I was like, "Oh my gosh, yes, absolutely. This is something people would want to read about." And she's like, "Yes, absolutely. We get asked about it all the time." And so I dove in to research. I had my own experiences with ritual bathing that I merged with, oh gosh, the expertise of wonderful practitioners and on other authors in the field. I got to do interview, and so it's not just my voice in the book; it's also the voices of amazing practitioners who have a background in healing and mental healing, emotional healing, grief healing, physical healing, and explored all kinds of different bath practices, some of which I'm a devotee of now. So that's how we got to where we are.
That's a wonderful story. So inspirational. And I love how it seems like now we're taking that stigma off the word witch too, which I really
Mm,
love.
yeah.
Because even in 2025, people hear the word witch and they go, oh, Satan, Antichrist. And it's all this jibber jabber that's ridiculous. Um, and I think people are starting to realize that it's more of a person that's connected to the earth in so many more
Yeah.
ways than the average person is,
Yeah.
and more connected to ritual and adhering to like a lot of the sacredness that we have within us. So I really love that.
Yeah.
That's great. So I read your book and I loved it. And like I said, I started taking notes. I don't know what bath I'm gonna try first because I have a few, but it's so interesting. So many of us are wrapped up just in the and you get this, I'm sure, all the time, and it's in your book. Uh we're so used to taking showers. Like I
Yeah.
know I am. I get up every day, pop in the shower, and
Mhm.
I try to make that a little ritualistic.
Mhm.
Like I try to void my mind of worrying about the bills or worrying about family members or all that stuff. But it's not the same as when you submerge into a bathtub, right?
Yeah.
So, what do you tell people that are just kind of hooked on that shower? Like, how do you convince them you're really missing out on something sacred here?
Well, I would say that there is actually something that happens physically when we submerge ourselves in water. And so, first of all, I would say think about the physical component, because when you sink down into water, first of all, we spend 9 months in a watery womb before we're born, and so it is kind of an innate part of who we are. And so giving yourself a chance to submerge in the water for a period of time, first of all, you're addressing the fact that that's where we come from. Our bodies are water, but also it actually calms down the parasympathetic system. It
Mhm.
actually has scientific benefits. And so if you're someone that is really serious about wanting to lift energy, shift energy, provide a foundational basis for uh, any kind of practice and craft, getting your body relaxed, releasing stress, putting yourself in a vibrationally harmonious spot. That's what a bath will do. And so it's physical first, but then second, water is associated with cleansing, purification.
Mhm.
Um, you know, um, Caves or doorways that have waterways going through them are traditionally seen as thresholds between worlds. And so, just even the concept of like putting your body in a watery womb and container prepares you to have experiences that standing in the shower might not. I mean, no shade on anybody that wants to do a cleansing shower. I think it's fantastic, and that is absolutely like no gatekeeping here. If that's your jam and that is what works for you, that's great. But
Mhm.
giving it a try, um, filling a tub and sitting down in it and giving yourself a chance to feel the buoyancy of it and how your physical body can relax into a moment, to presence yourself, to be able to set your intentions around a particular desired outcome in your craft and practice. It is a wonderful tool. It can elevate just a very, very basic routine part of our life. And for those of us that are strapped for time, and that's most people, I see a ritual bath as being like, listen, I have to do the cleaning thing, anyway. That's it's part of my routine. Why not take it just a little bit of a step further and incorporate some intentions and incorporate some tools and botanicals and herbs, or elevate the craft to a deeper spiritual part of your life.
Mm. Do you
Yeah.
notice that men are taking more baths now? Like, how do you speak to men about this topic? Because I know
I
men that like
Yeah,
to bathe. Yeah.
I just did. I just had a podcast, did a podcast with two men that are absolutely, um, yeah, that are devotees of ritual bath. And so they were like, oh my gosh, this is a great topic. And I love to see that. I love to see
Yeah.
that. I would love to see more men participate, because this is not a gender specific thing. This isn't
Yeah.
just for women. This is for anyone. This is for anyone. It doesn't matter. um, yeah, you can get a lot out of it. And men, yeah, I encourage anyone to give it a shot. If you're resistant to it, there are so many different approaches and ways that you can enter this, because It is so versatile. You don't have to have the beautiful candles and the tub tray and all the things and
Yeah.
flowers, and you don't have to do that. You can, but you can just by like crossing the threshold into your bathroom, into your private space with an intention, you've already started the process. You've already
Mm.
started the process of making it a spiritual experience for yourself, and you're going to get something. You're going to get something out of it. Yeah.
So what's the difference between just a bath and a ritual bath? Like
Yeah.
what's the
Yeah.
difference between the 2?
I feel like there's definite similarities. What they both have in common is the steps in the process. You know, we know you're going to fill a tub. We know that you're going to bring some clothes in and have a nice warm towel, or there are a few pieces. It's going to be relaxing. We know that. However, when you go into that space with some kind of intention around something that you want to manifest or create or intend to uh, as a result in your life, or something that you're going in with like a mental or emotional struggle that you want to soothe and heal, once you go in with that kind of intention, it completely transforms the experience. It's no longer just a routine part of your life. There are so many different steps and nuanced ways that you can approach a bath practice that, yeah, take it from a simple routine and elevate it to the spiritual.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So Ashraf is asking, could you give us some examples of like what intentions you would set?
Yes, yes, absolutely. So, and it also depends on someone. I just want to say one thing about the book is that there's a whole chapter in here on, like, if you're really struggling with what kind of intentions to bring into your bath practice, I have them broken down by zodiac sign. So
Oh, nice.
if you want a starting point and you're like, shoot, I don't know where to, I've never done this before, you can do it based on your zodiac sign. I also have written intentions for each zodiac sign based on the moon phases. So, like, if you want to coordinate your bath practice with a moon phase, go in and find an intention here. But what I would say is, um, just take a beat to quiet yourself, come into your body, and wonder
Mm.
about what's going on in your life. First of all, so if I have a crazy busy week, I you can guarantee by Friday night I am in my ritual bath, and it's going to focus around decreasing stress and bringing myself back to balance and
Mm.
bringing myself back into myself, bringing myself easing anxiety. So but if you're somebody who is on the cusp of something new, you're facing a new transition in your life, whether it's a job or a career or a something big, whether it's small, you can take that and you can narrow it down to some type of intention, and then you can create a whole ritual practice around it. You can create a ritual around it. So let's just say, for example, I know on Friday night my place is my ritual bath. I'm going in there first of all, I'm going in and I'm cleansing and clearing the space, just like you would do in any kind of other spiritual practice. So a lot of people go in and out of that space. If you're like me, I live with three other people. So I'm going to clean, I'm going to cleanse, I'm going to smoke clear, I'm going to use some Florida water, whatever I've got on hand to clean the space. I'm going to wipe it down, I'm going to organize it. Then I'm going to sit for a bit and meditate. I'm going to take some notes. I'm going to decide what tools will correspond with the things that I'm up to that I want to bring into that ritual space. It can be, oh gosh, connecting with ancestor energy, ancestral
Mhm.
veneration and healing, grief healing,
Mhm.
manifestation. You can use your bath practice for anything that you take into your own spiritual practice. And so then you decide what tools are going to best fit that. And what do you have on hand? Nothing fancy needed whatsoever. What you have on hand that you can bring in from your kitchen cupboard if you're
Yeah.
if you're a ritual craft or have an established craft. If you're curious about all of that, you can bring in things from your kitchen cabinet.
Yeah.
Just learn about the correspondences and what they mean. Essential oils, crystals,
Yeah.
Candles, if you're a fire person and you really like need to connect to your creativity and your passion, oh gosh, candles all over the place, you know? The book also does a really good job of talking about the safety part, which I think sometimes we forget about when we start this kind of practice, because things to think about when you go into and activate a space for healing and a space for intentions and a space as a craft and a ritual practice, you want to make sure that you're setting up some protection in that
Yeah.
space as well.
Yeah.
Just anything, right? Like having some grounding, do a grounding, make sure you're tethered, make sure that space is protected before you go in. I mean, water is naturally cleansing and purifying. So, by the time you end your ritual bathing experience, that water is going to be able to help you release whatever it is that you need to release, especially if you're doing a full moon thing. I'm a full moon girl. I'm going to get in my ritual bath on the full moon. I'm going to have all my tools around me and I'm ready to release what I need to release for that month.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, that you can correspond it
Yeah,
with
and
the
I
moon.
love that you cover the topic of protection because when you're in a vulnerable place, whether you're sleeping, I mean, sleeping, we're all vulnerable. So, it's always good to do a protection ritual or a grounding ritual. Now, Ashraf said, like, what about May 11th? I think he said May 11th, right? So that's Taurus, right? Now, I have a PDF copy, so I can't hold it up, but you can show us
Yeah.
the cover. Lovely. I love the size
Here's
of it too.
Here's what the book looks like, and I've got my finger right inside the back page or the back section, which is all the correspondences. So like the front page has a list of exercises. You can go right to the page. So it's indexed. So if there's something you're
Mhm.
working on, you're like, ooh, um, grief healing, or ooh, ancestral connection, or ooh, manifestation, you can go right in the beginning and there will be an exercise list with the page, so you can go there and
Mm.
boom, you're there. But also the back has correspondences, so based on, yeah, what you specifically want to work on, it's
Yeah,
grouped by categories, so you can kind of go through and go, okay, I'm not an herbs person. Maybe you're not an herbs person, that's fine,
right.
but you love essential oils. Well, you're going to go find the essential oil that corresponds with, like, oh, I want to enhance my psychic abilities, which,
Oh, nice
you
one.
know, ritual bath is great for. So, like, you can find, oh, magic and divination. We have luck, we have protection, health and healing. But if you want to amplify your psychic abilities, you're going for the mugwort, you're going for a little bit of lavender, you're going to ground yourself with some
Yeah.
rosemary,
Yeah, and these things are easy to find on Amazon.
yeah.
You can just go, shop
Mhm.
anywhere for these things. They're pretty easy. But I love how you go through the astrological aspect of it.
Mhm.
So, like for Taurus, who
Yes,
is
May 11th.
Ashraf,
Right.
yeah, May 11th. So, just quickly, you have a few paragraphs on it.
Yep.
And it says,
Mhm.
like, for an example, if you don't mind, we can kind of
Go
share
for
this.
it. Yeah, go for
Incorporating flowers,
it. Yep.
oils, herbs, and beautiful music delights the senses. So this is specifically
Yeah.
meant for the Taurus, right? So
Sensual bath.
since
Yeah, sensual
yeah,
bath for Taurian is going to really amplify the senses. It's going to make you feel really, really good, like more
yeah,
yourself, like really like you're embodying or the fullness of who you are. So yeah, with Taurus energy, oh heck yes. Anything that can be a sensual experience. I wouldn't necessarily advise like a cold plunge for a Taurus.
mhm,
Maybe a nature bath because they are very connected with the earth, and so if you're a lake swimmer or you're near the ocean, you might enjoy doing something that connects you to nature. But for the most part, something that I'm saying, all the colors and the music and the
yeah.
scents, whatever stimulates your senses that makes you feel really, really good in your body.
So not
Torian.
too hot and not too cold for a Taurus, right? Because you
Correct.
said it's something in the book about it
Yep.
draining energy. Yeah,
Yep.
I love that.
Yep.
I really do like that. Like I read mine, I'm a Pisces, and it was spot on. It says the most challenging lesson for Pisces are um, discernment in the midst of overwhelming energetic and environmental feedback. That is so true. Pisces often seek escape routes, which is so like everything was
Yeah.
spot on.
Yeah.
And I really like that because if you're into your sun sign, it's
Mhm.
such a good idea to do the corresponding thing. Now, I guess Ashraf is saying also that it's really a problem if the bath area. Oh, is it really a problem if the bath and the toilet area are kind of in the same? Which most of our homes, it's that way, as
Mm.
most house systems are that way. Especially, I wouldn't think that would be a problem, right?
No, not at all. And as a matter of fact, what's going on, I'm shutting the lid and I'm putting my, you know,
Mhm.
my plush towel and my bathrobe is sitting nice on, so I'm making it a little shelf for the things that
Exactly.
I'm.
That's what I do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just use it to your benefit. It
Yeah.
definitely does. But if you feel weird about it, you can also just sort of send a thought or intention around it, like it's just, it set up a little wall for yourself and protect yourself a little bit. But I don't really think it's necessary. I think it's totally fine. It's totally fine. Yeah.
Yeah, I think most homes, unless you're in a big
Yeah.
luxurious home, have like a separate jacuzzi or
Yep.
something like that.
Right.
But I
That's
think most of us just like I have 3, 2.5 bats, and both of them have the
yeah.
hole right near. And I just set it up. You put your slippers on the floor and you kind of vibe it out.
Yep.
So yeah, I don't think that's too much of a problem. So what are some of your, yeah, like personally, your favorite things to include in your ritual bath?
Well, I have to say that, I used to be really like diligent about Epsom salts, but then I was exposed to Himalayan sea salt and then also dead mineral sea salts.
Mm, mhm.
And okay, so that was kind of a game changer for me because being a perimenopausal woman, going into a ritual bath where I have dead sea salts that are actually adding minerals into my body,
Mhm.
I was just feeling so refreshed, really refreshed, rejuvenated, and it's giving me something because it's absorbing into my skin. So I
Yeah.
have to say, a bath without dead sea salts is usually not happening for me. Also, on that note, if you are going into a new moon or a full moon, another really favorite thing for me is to goat's milk, powdered goat's milk. I know that sounds weird, but it creates kind of a milky bath that softens the skin, and it's
Oh, I
so.
like that.
Oh my gosh, trying a powdered milk. I avoid dairy, so I do a goat's milk. I suppose you could get a powdered sheep's milk, but it just makes it so luscious. And when you step in, and for those that have dry skin, bathing can be a little bit challenging. If you want to make it a regular practice and you don't want to dry your skin out, you're adding a little bit of goat's milk powder or a little vitamin E oil, or some regular olive table oil to massage into your skin. So I'm all about the moisturizing right now, but it's also
Yeah.
very comforting. I I either do a little lemon peel for lifting my mood and also giving me energy. So that, I know it seems like an odd ingredient, but honestly, when you put it in the water, it just brightens the mood in the whole room. So I do a ton of lemon peel, orange peel, and that you can find in your fridge. You know what I mean? So you can
Yeah, I
do that.
like that. I like that. I mean,
Make
it's
sure
the
you have a strainer to scoop it
yeah,
out
yeah.
before,
I like the
before.
aromatherapy aspect of it
Hmm.
too.
Yep.
Yeah, that's really cool. So you don't
Yeah.
even need essential oils. You could just get an orange peel or a lemon peel and
Yep.
kinda
Yep.
do the same thing.
Or if somebody gifted you some flowers, but they
Yeah,
look
that's
like
a
they're
great
starting
idea.
to wilt, you can take those and take that energy of that love that you share into your bath practice and intend for enhancing your love relationship and opening your heart, and and put some flower petals on the top of your water. Lavender is always a good go-to. I have to tell everyone, please avoid spicy essential oils and herbs. So we're not putting cinnamon in the tub. You could have a cup of tea and stir it with a cinnamon stick and set your intentions. Like, you don't even have to put anything in your tub if you just want to have a tea or
Yeah,
a cup
yeah.
of water. and you can put your things in the tea.
Mm,
Everything that goes in a tub should, well, for the most part, be edible, because then we know it's not going to hurt your skin. It's not going to hurt your
mm,
skin. So keep that in the back of your mind. Um, so so things that are that feel like they might sting if they touch our skin, like eucalyptus. Nope, that's not for a tub. That might be for a diffuser, but it's definitely not for a tub. So think, and also then think about, I like to think about what mood I'm in. You know what
mm.
I'm saying? Like, what does this moment call for? Do I need energy? If I need energy, I'm going for the brighter scents, like I said, like the citruses. I'm definitely going for something brighter. If I need something more relaxing, I'm going for the chamomile, the thyme, the rosemary, the grounding scents, because that's going to bring me back into my body. And doing work as a psychic and astrologist, I rely on my ritual baths to help me ground.
How often do you do them, like, per month?
So I'm at least once a week on the ritual bath indoors, but I'm also a cold plunger. So
Oh,
yeah, so that's a whole other bath tool, ritual bath tool we
yeah.
haven't even talked about yet. So yep.
Wow. I've seen so many people doing the cold plunge. I don't know if I have the courage, but
It is unbelievable how it almost instantly eases things like anxiety. So it was
yeah.
suggested to me when I was diagnosed with an anxiety disorder as a way to help rewire my nervous system
Yeah, yeah.
and help set off the dopamine and serotonin receptors, which go crazy when you do cold plunging. And so I couldn't believe how, what I thought was going to happen was the opposite. That I would just feel so anxious that I wouldn't be able to calm down. Once you get in and you calm your body down, and then you spend a few minutes in a cold plunge, and I'm talking 45 to 65 degrees. I do not do ice baths. I don't do anything ice.
Wow.
Nope, I don't do ice. 45 to 65
Yeah,
is that's a sweet spot for the
yeah.
body without jeopardizing anything, really. It's a good sweet spot. So
Yeah, that
I
sounds better
encourage
than the
people to
ice.
try it. I encourage people to try it just once.
Yeah.
Try it. Yeah, especially air or fire signs. If you have a lot of fire in your chart, you know your fire sign, or you're really energetic person, or you're go, 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 go kind of person, being able to do a cold plunge will bring you instantly into a state of calm. It's wild.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I don't know, maybe someday I'll be brave enough to try it. I've heard so many good things about them, but I don't know. I mean, like, I don't like water too hot or too cold. I kinda like it right in
Yep.
that sweet spot, like you
Yep.
said. So I guess you have to just find what works for you, right?
Oh, absolutely. The
Yeah.
versatility with a ritual bath practice. Okay, you're not comfortable getting in the water. That's why, like, I assert this multiple times. And I told my editor when I wrote the book, it needed to be accessible by everyone. This needs to be something that's also inclusive. And so some people legitimately cannot get in a tub, or they can't be submerged because
Mm.
maybe a disability or a skin condition. However, they can submerge their feet. So let's do a foot bath, or
Oh, that's
let's
a good idea.
yeah, have a basin where
Yeah.
you just submerge one part of your body, or you just use it to cleanse your aura or your face, and your feet. And so you can still do the same process. You can still create intentions. You can still use the tools, and you don't have to get submerged at all.
Yeah.
And so yeah, that's also moon bathing. Moon bathing is another form of ritual bath that requires no water, but we are connecting with that being that actually does govern tides. Do you know? So I feel like learning about all the different ways you can actually, all it's so versatile. You do not need, some people are limited resources and don't have a tub, and
Exactly. Yeah.
so yeah.
Now, this is a good point too. Ashraf said, how about curry salt? Means like I guess they use curry for foods. And that's important because, whatever you connect with, whether
Yeah.
you're Italian or Irish. So you're cooking and you're using certain herbs and spices. Could you safely translate? I know you said if you can eat it, it's probably okay to put as long as it's
So
not hot or
yeah,
like
if it's
spicy.
not spicy. Yep, if
Yeah,
it's not spicy, so what goes in your body that's spicy, like I commented, cinnamon, yeah, curry, it depends, I think, on what kind of curry. It spot test it, put it in
yeah,
some water,
yeah.
stick your hand in, but like if you're a person who your curry salt just the scents and the smells, especially as a Taurus, make you feel so at home in your body and you know it's not going to harm your skin, go for it. I'm like, go for it. That could have some really, really cool potential spiritual uh, connections for you, you know, and so just make sure whatever you try to do with a salt that has a spice in it, you need to check it with your skin first.
Yeah,
Make
yeah,
sure.
definitely, definitely. So your book connects like, when I was reading it, it's like full of ancient wisdom and connecting like modern practices. So your book blends, ancient bathing wisdom with our modern traditions, right? What was the most surprising or profound ancient technique that you researched? And how did you adapt that to a contemporary audience?
Well, I was quite frankly, I don't know what rock I've been under, but I did not know that this resurgence of communal bathing has been going on for
Mm.
centuries around the world. Well, it makes sense in other cultures and countries for hundreds of years. People have met in public spaces because nobody had plumbing, you know. So
Exactly.
if you were going to connect, you were going to connect around water. And so that became a social connection point. It
Mhm.
became a cultural connection and eventually adapted to spiritual. And so, yeah, and it's not just like, I'm not talking like religious, although there's ethno religious connections to it as well. Obviously, like Judaism has the mikvah, which is a
Yeah.
initiatory rite of passage. Also, Christianity obviously has baptism. Islam has hammams. So
Mhm.
almost every religious um, backdrop that I researched had some kind of connection in its practices to water. And of course, then we have paganism, which I'm more closely aligned with, where we have, yeah, druids and priests and priestesses that are utilizing water in ceremonial practices. We have water priestesses around the world now who
Yeah.
actually go protect whole bodies of water. So it blew my mind. So the communal bathing practice piece is starting to have a resurgence. And I met and had a conversation with a woman who has a communal bathing spa in Minneapolis. She offers other um, holistic healing alternatives as well. There's cold plunging, and she has all kinds of spa things and massage and everything as well. But it's stunning to imagine walking into a space with others and you can instantly feel the sacredness
Yeah.
of entering that space and how it just shifts everybody's energy and you can't help but feel like you're somehow connecting on some sort of spiritual level because you're all having a beautiful
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah,
And
I definitely see that side of it, and I
yeah,
also, maybe because I'm an empath and I'm always so affected by people around me, I would imagine it's important before entering a communal situation to do a grounding technique and
yes,
make sure you're protected, right?
grounding, protection. Um, spas that have communal bathing happening prepare you ahead of time. There's a whole process, plus like a centering meditation before you even go into. So they're treating it like a very sacred space that everybody's involved in, and everybody has
Mhm.
to sign a form so that like there's a certain expected behavior that's happening
Sure.
when you know that's not inappropriate and then you just feel like just
Yeah.
totally free going into that so yeah, but grounding and protecting definitely, but I also just wanted to mention if people are curious, a lot of those things get set up a little bit ahead of time so that everybody's kind of on the same page before you go into that space.
Yeah, and it's smart, to do, of course, to do all those things, and I, with the growing popularity of that, it's like good timing
Yeah,
with your book too, really good timing.
that's true.
Um, yeah, and I've seen so many people doing more, and like a friend of my daughter's runs like a men's wellness center, and he does the communal bathing for men. And I've seen
Mm,
videos of his where he'll set up this whole, like,
yeah.
I guess it's like a
Mm,
punch list of things
yes.
beforehand to do. So
Mhm.
yeah, smart move for sure.
Well, and of
So
course, we
yeah,
have labor bathing for birthing. And so I was
all
lucky
right.
enough to have 3 water births. And so if you think about the sacred container that a bath can be for bringing, oh my gosh, for bringing life into the world
Yeah,
and the amount of energy that is created in that space. So there's water birthing that's been here since forever.
mhm,
Women knew years and years and years ago with ancient times that going into water was going to make their bodies feel better during that process. And then now, there's all kinds of safety things that we've brought into it. It's a really wonderful experience as well.
yeah. The doctor, no, he's not a doctor. Emoto, his name is, that
Oh,
he
yes.
yes,
Hmm.
let's talk about that because, again, you're seeing,
Yep.
people being really
Yes.
interested all of a sudden in living water and
Sure.
drinking living
Mhm.
water, and so let's talk about that because I think what he did is such a great example of setting
Mhm.
intention
Yep.
and what happens to water when
Hmm.
you set negative versus positive or like ignored water? Like if you just
Yep.
ignore it, what
Yeah.
happens? What did you discover when you were doing the
So
research?
also around that, water is a natural conductor for energy. So why you want to include your favorite crystals in your water bath, in your ritual bath practice is because those gems or crystals that you have built a relationship with, you can put them in the water with you, and the energies between you and the crystal will more easily intermingle because water is a natural conductor. It's now been scientifically proven. Water is a natural conductor for energy. So think about yourself getting into a tub, getting submerged, and let's say you want to work on healing your chakras. For example, you are building a relationship with the element water while you're in
Right.
it. You're inviting its participation. Your thoughts are energy going into the water, which is also responding to you by helping you release whatever
Sure.
energy you're trying to release. On top of that, amplified by whatever crystal energy you put in the water. It would be fascinating to like freeze a tub of water when you're done releasing to see what it
Yeah.
would look like. I haven't done that, but it would be really fascinating to see what patterns are formed in it for sure.
Yeah,
There, yeah,
absolutely.
yeah, that's the science behind it. So that's not that's a real thing. It's a real thing. And so to add in, to me, your tools are an extension of your own magic and your own craft. So the
Yeah.
tools are an extension and they don't replace what you come in with and how you presence yourself and prepare yourself for it. They're not the replacement. The tool is not the magic. You're the magic. And so when you come into your water space, there are going to be really phenomenal things going on in the water that help with your release of your chakras, or grief release, or ancestral veneration, or supernatural experiences can
Oh, I
happen,
love that.
you
I
know?
love that concept. Yeah. Yeah. And it's so interesting because about 2 years ago, I got one of these guys here, these crystal water thermoses.
Ooh, cool.
Yeah, oh god, I picked the worst website to go show,
You're fine.
um, but yeah, you can kinda get the vibe. It's like a thermos with all different rose quartz,
Oh
amethyst,
my
stuff like
god.
that,
Tell
so
me about it. What do you like about that? I haven't tried one yet.
Oh, I love it. I have the rose quartz one,
Yeah.
and it's like at first I was a little nervous about drinking water with
Yeah.
but I noticed that with the rose quartz for me, it was very calming. Like I
Mm.
just
Oh,
felt
yeah.
very calm
Yes.
after I drank that.
Mhm.
I know they have others for energy. It's like so
Yep.
cool that, people are recognizing the power of water and what it can do for you. So not only bathing in it, but drinking it and the whole thing.
Yep, and if you wanna make like in my practice and in my craft, I'm making moon water. If it's,
Oh,
if it's a full moon that I'm happy about, some
mhm.
full moons are a little intense. I'm usually going for the full moon in Pisces or the full moon in Capricorn or Cancer. I'm going for something that's gonna be a little bit more balancing, but drinking that, boiling it into tea, taking the full moon energy in is kind of a similar thing. So, but I love, you're right. I think society is really starting to embrace more
Yeah.
or the benefits of and recognizing how things like crystals and stones actually hold such amazing wisdom, and unleashing that and releasing that is
Yeah.
healing so many on so many levels.
Absolutely. And in your book you have a picture, um, well, some, I guess, drawn artistic sketches of like sigils or symbols, I guess they would be.
Yes.
So for self-love, peace,
Yep.
and healing. And as I'm reading that, I'm
Yep.
thinking, how cool would it be to buy soap with
Yep.
those sigils? Do
Yep.
you sell any of those things? Or because think about it, if
No.
you're
No.
doing your ritual bath, how cool
Yep.
would it be to bring a sigil in there with you,
Yes.
right?
Yep, I agree. And so think about it like this. You can also use some table oil. This is one of my favorite things to do. Be careful, but is to take a little salt and combine it with some oil and draw your sigil on the bottom of your tub before you run it.
Mm,
Just be careful when you get in. Do you know what I mean? So like before you even get start running the water, a sigil is a symbol that opens up kind of a portal or a gateway for that
yes,
energy to come in. And so yeah, so like self-love, peace, healing,
yes.
I mean, you can create your own sigil. You can even just draw your initials of your name. You can draw the infinity symbol. That's just everybody knows the infinity symbol. That's like whatever I'm going in with, I want it to infinity. So if I'm going in with self love into my bath ritual, I want
Mhm.
self love to infinity. So I'm going to draw a heart around the infinity symbol. You draw it with your hand, then you run the water, then you get in, and you have now submersed yourself in this beautiful intention
Yeah,
of
yeah.
energy.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because I've had so many guests on and we
Yeah.
talk so much about sigils and the positive and negative about them, how they can be used in
Mm-hmm.
a negative way too. But
Mm-hmm.
if you're creating your own sigil, you can actually take words like you just said, and I think you're supposed to remove the vowel and then
Mm-hmm.
take the rest of
Yep.
the letters and use them in the sigil.
Yep.
So I've made a few. It takes all of 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just thinking how
Yeah.
wonderful that would be to incorporate into the bath.
Mhm.
Like,
Yes. And I know this is kind of a little strange, but it works for me as I actually draw my sigils on the inside of
oh,
my
nice.
wrist that's connected to my heart. And so if it's protection, I'm going to draw it with a marker that's not water, that's waterproof.
Yeah.
And so when I get into my ritual practice, it's there and I can charge it. I can look at it. I can draw
Mm,
from its energy. This is great also for artists if you want to draw or paint. They have bath paints for kids, that are
yeah,
non
I've
toxic.
seen them.
You can get in your tub and you can make the walls in your tub like a whole art gallery of sigils. You can write words and intentions around the walls in your tub. If you're a visual person and you're like, I can't just get in a tub and be quiet, I need to have something to do, get some bath paints that are made for kids. I had those when my kids were little and they loved them.
Oh,
And
I bet.
yep.
What about in your book? I love that you cover, like for circulation problems, get
Mhm.
ginger. And
Yes.
then you explain since the feet absorb more readily, this is going to be more effective as a foot bath. So
Mhm.
like you really go through some great ideas for
Yeah.
things that might be troubling you physically too. Have you noticed that like if you're not feeling well physically, if you do your ritual bath, that that definitely helps you?
Yes, it does. And for me, because again, it was sort of a recommendation initially to help me cope with anxiety.
Yeah.
Eventually, I just dove in and I was like, well, okay, occasionally I deal with some digestive issues. What could I do? Oh my gosh, ginger essential oil combined with a little cup of ginger tea. I'm going to get in my tub. It's going to absorb into my skin. I'm going to, first of all, I'm going to be relaxed and it's going to
Yeah.
calm my digestive system down. And then sipping on my tea, by the time I get out, I just, everything has been brought to balance, you know? And,
Mm.
and I'm a huge fan of the whole chakra, release or, enhancing your chakras while you're in the tub as well, because that kind of helps your whole system regulate.
Mhm.
It regulates your nervous system, it regulates your energetic system. So if you spend a little time visualizing, even if you're not using any tools, you can visualize your chakras in the water, helping the chakras open and heal and release anything that needs to be released. By the
Yeah.
time you get out, you're going to feel like $1,000,000. I just like do it before you go to bed so you don't have to go back to work.
How long do you usually stay in a ritual bath until the water just kind of doesn't feel good anymore?
I think that's a personal call. Sometimes they're shorter than longer. It depends also on like what I've got going on. I'm not going to deny myself that experience if I'm super busy. I'm just going to shorten the duration. So if
Yeah.
you have 10 minutes, great. If you have an hour, great. You know,
Yeah.
you're going to know, your body's going to tell you when it's done and it's
When you
ready.
had enough. Yeah. Yeah. I like that.
Yep.
So I also like how in your book you talk about like moon water. We talked about
Mhm.
that.
Yeah.
So you charge the water. Like, how does that work? Do you charge water and then bring it in and
Yeah.
bathe in it?
Yeah. So when I go out, depending on what the full moon is in. So every month the full moon is in a different zodiac sign. And so some of the zodiac signs, like I alluded to earlier, aren't necessarily great for me to work with, but it depends on the person. Regardless, full moon energy is for releasing. And so if you go out, I have a glass pitcher. I fill with distilled water. I take it outside with a glass plate on top so that the moon's
Mhm.
energy can infuse it. Or maybe slip a clear quartz crystal into the bottom so that it
Mm.
actually amplify the healing energy. And then I'll stand with my hands over the water. I'll say a prayer to the moon and connect myself and link myself with the moon and the water. Boom, done. Next morning, she's good to go. I go get it, bring it in, fill my little glass bottles that I spray around the house to help clear the
Oh,
energy.
I like that idea
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
I like that. Heidi,
Hmm.
I was thinking of you when we were talking about moon water. She said she loves making moon water. What do you use it for, Heidi? If you could tell us, do you spray it around your
Affirmation.
house or bathe in it? Oh, okay. No, she was just saying, oh, she loves this topic. Thank you, Heidi.
Mm.
It's really great. I love it too. Um, I'm so conscious of water like the past 4 or 5 years, and
Mm.
I it upsets me
Yeah,
because they're putting fluoride in the water,
yeah.
and even when I shower, it upsets me or bathe
Mhm.
to know that there's fluoride in the water. Is
Mhm.
there an herb or anything to counteract that, that would take that charge out? I know that you need an osmosis system
Yeah.
to remove it, and those things are like thousands of dollars, but do
Yeah.
you know of anything that would help?
I would say, first of all, if you're really set on this and you want to make it a once a month experience, you can also boil your water just be careful to test the temperature. I think that can help remove a lot of impurities.
Mhm.
Boiling water, you can boil distilled water if you really, if you're on a budget and you don't want to have to mess with the filtration system, there are other methods. I would say anything on the line of citrusy
Oh,
oils.
yeah.
cleanse the water, purifies the water. If you look at purifying oil, essential oil blends, they almost always have a citrus, and a citrus is disinfecting. And so, again, test it on your skin. Like
Mhm.
I'll put drops of grapefruit in my bath for that
Ooh, I
reason.
like that.
Yep, grapefruit. It's very, very invigorating. It's very
Yeah.
thing, and it's going to actually, I can't claim that it removes the fluoride from the water, but oh yeah, it's going to have a positive impact at disinfecting what you're stepping into. And so if that's important to you, you definitely I would lean towards the citrus. Yep, I would lean towards the citrus. Dried lemon,
Yeah,
keep it
especially with,
hydrated.
I guess,
Yep.
yeah, I guess with lake water too,
Yes.
because there's
Mhm.
bacteria in there, so I guess you would wanna boil that first
Yep.
and then maybe use some cit but I
Mhm.
love the idea of lake water because it's always getting sun and moonlight. So it's,
Yes.
like,
Oh,
always being charged, right?
powerful. I'll go to the lake here in Minnesota. I'll go right before the beach and the park closes, and I'll get in when nobody's there, right as the moon is starting to,
Yeah.
brighten the sky, and just I'll bathe with the moon. I'll get in the water, float, swim, do my intentions in the lake. Yeah, natural bodies of water are really super supported. You can bring water if you get permission. Do you know what I mean? Like, just make
Yeah.
sure you're checking in with Mother Nature, get some permission, bring some water home. If you don't want to put it in your bath, keep it in a little vial that you can work with. There's tons of microorganisms in there, and that whole ecosystem has a whole powerful energy and
Oh,
that can help you as well. You can
yeah.
utilize those as allies. That water can help. So even if you're not dumping it directly in your tub, you can keep it nearby, you can float it in the water, you can ask it to help you with your intentions, and
Oh,
then
I like that.
release it outside when you're done, you know? So,
Yeah. Yeah, I like that idea a lot. Put it in a
mhm.
little vial
Mhm.
and keep it near you or let it
Yep.
float around in the tub.
Yeah.
So, Heidi says she drinks it, she waters her plants, which is a great idea.
Oh,
Her
yes.
granddaughter loves moon water and sun water, and she says it gives her power. You know, children, they're smarter than we think. She also says we only use mountain spring water from El Dorado Mountain near her, which is great. Doctors have told her that they have excellent water here in Colorado. Oh, I don't know. I think it's just like a global problem.
It's a
You know,
problem.
that yeah, it's just a global
Mhm.
concern.
Yeah.
Um, but, I do think that using things like citruses that
Yep.
naturally
Disinfect.
um,
Yep.
exactly, I think that's so helpful. And, your book goes on to talk about ocean water, spring
Mhm.
water, snow
Mhm.
water, which I love. I love that. Using snow water, that's great too. I don't
Snow
know,
is great.
would
Yeah,
you
go ahead.
disinfect that before snow water? Like,
Oh,
would you
heck
boil
yeah.
it?
I
Yeah,
would boil it. But think about just how much power storm water has. For example, snow also, but like like how is the snow has actually changed forms. It was a cloud that then started to rain down and
yes.
then froze. Think about the things in your life that you might need that energy for. What might you need to freeze, or what might you need to stop, or you could use it for some type of banishing or some type of
Oh,
eliminating
yeah.
energy. And then stormwater is like an amplification of intensity that you're looking for. So if you're really up to something and you need that
Mm.
stormwater to help you combat something or help release something in a really big way, you're gonna tap and use some stormwater. That all has, just like moon water, it all has really powerful energy. So when you're thinking about your practice, keep it simple. Keep it simple. Don't overthink it. It's like, oh, is the stormwater the right thing for this? It's like, if it feels right for you, know some
Yeah,
things about it. But if
yeah.
it feels right, like it feels like moon water is not going to cut it, I need storm water, you're going to collect some storm water, or some snow.
Yeah. And it's so interesting, Heidi even says tasting snow like back in the day. When I was young, we used to eat snow. It
Did we?
was safe back then. I mean, now, I would never do that, but Yeah, and I love the idea of like Heidi saying stormwater. Thunderstorms are very intense and the water's so powerful. That's why I think a lot of us love when it's storming. We just love to go out in the rain and stand there. I mean, I know I've done that.
Oh, it's
No
electrifying.
yellow snow. Yeah,
Oh,
no
it's
yellow snow.
purifying. It's
Yes.
playful.
Yeah.
Connecting with your inner child. Hello.
Yeah,
That
it's
takes us right
wonderful.
back to our childhood.
Yeah. And you mentioned well water too, and it's so interesting because I know folks that have well water and people like me, I have city water,
Mhm.
and there's
Mhm.
such a difference.
There is a huge difference.
There's
Yeah.
a huge difference
Yeah.
in it.
So, yeah, the well water that comes directly sourced from the ground, you think about where it's just come from. So fresh and so pure and so ready to be utilized. And
Yeah.
so the
Yeah.
Mother Earth, the energy, you can draw energy from the Mother Earth. It can be very, very cleansing and very healing to incorporate well water if you have access to it. Not everybody does, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Did you ever come across someone who felt, I don't like to use the word possessed, let's say influenced by negative entities? um in your research, would they use ritual baths to cleanse themselves, and if so, what was the predominant thing that they would use? Would it be holy water? I mean, I've heard of people bathing in blessed water, so depending on their religion, but what have you come across that would be like the best thing to remove
Yeah.
negative?
So so that I'm a medium, that's also part of my the scope of my practice, and there have been times where folks have crossed my path where they feel a stuck energy either with them or around them. And to keep it simple, I feel like oftentimes in negative energy attachments need maybe something a little bit more systematic for removing that. But I would say a ritual bath practice can be added as a supplement or a component 100%. I would say a ritual bath practice may not actually remove the entity or attachment. I
Yeah.
don't know. I haven't done the research around it, but from what I know as a medium, I would say on the back end of having that attachment or that situation resolved, you would want to do a ritual bath to cleanse your energy and and for protection as well. A ritual
Mm,
bath can be used for cleansing, but it's also something you can do for protection. And so I would encourage anybody that has had an experience like that,
yeah.
that's
Yeah.
very troublesome. Once it's resolved, a ritual bath can be used to help cleanse and release any residual energy and kind of bring your system back to balance, because that's a very I haven't had it myself, but I'm imagining it's a very disruptive experience to have that happen, emotionally
Yeah. Yeah.
disruptive. And a ritual bath practice can bring you back to balance so that you don't feel so frayed. Your nerves so frayed. Um, yeah, anything that you can think about that is like requires or can be benefited by cleansing and purification. That is absolutely a ritual bath. It's also protection. It's also putting my sigils. It's also,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Um, Goodness, I was just gonna ask you a question. You mentioned something and it just
Oh,
slipped my brain. Oh, what I wanted to ask you about sex magic, because I
oh, yeah,
think it's so cool when couples bathe
yeah,
together. And
yes,
unfortunately, bathtubs are so small. And
yeah,
if you have a big partner, it's a little weird. Like,
yeah,
what's your recommendation for that? Because I think there's so
yeah,
much power in,
yeah,
like, my husband passed, but when especially in our early stages of marriage, we used to shower together. And it wasn't, I mean, it
yes,
was sexual, of course, but it was more of a connection thing.
yes.
So, like, talk to
Yeah.
us about that.
Yes. So, okay. So we know that orgasms are known as a little death. And so there is a moment where a threshold is crossed when you have that
Uh-huh.
experience. And to be able to harness that, whether you're by yourself having a sexual experience or you're with your partner, I would advocate for the shower sex magic moment because I do feel that for most people that's going to be more successful unless
Yeah,
you
yeah.
have a really big tub.
Right, if you have a big jacuzzi.
It's the same process. You talk to your partner ahead of time. What's something that the two of you would love to either manifest together, enhance together, whether it's your energetic bond and your love for each other, or something that you're legitimately trying to create in your life together as a couple. Bring that intention in, get all your tools ready, and then you engage in the sexual act. And that moment of orgasm before you're there, that moment of orgasm sort of releases or transmutes the energy into the water and creates that as a very, very powerful. It's like bringing the thunderstorm into the
Oh,
bathroom.
yeah.
It's
Yeah, I
that.
love that whole concept. I
Yeah.
really do. Because
Yeah.
even, like, if you look at a lot of vacation spots,
Yeah.
commercials on TV, they're always showing you, like, couples in the water. That's, like,
Yeah.
the predominant thing,
Yeah, for sure.
swimming together, just doing all drinking in the pool together. It's just such a bonding
It is a
experience, right?
positive way to bond. And if you're interested, you can take it a step further and use your sexual experiences together as a way to, you can, if you practice tantric sex, you can
Yeah, yeah.
use the bath to access all kinds of interesting energy and
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
energy.
I could just
Yep.
imagine that.
Mhm.
And I wanted to address Heidi because she had mentioned she currently doesn't have a bathtub and she loves taking baths. And we talked about that in the beginning, like what you could do. And I love your alternative solutions to that
Mhm.
problem. So whether it's a foot bath,
Yep.
maybe, and I love foot baths. I
Yes.
love taking them.
Yeah.
They just, especially when you have the vibrating one, it just
Oh,
feels so good.
aren't they wonderful?
They
Oh,
really are. And even going for a pedicure, Heidi, like,
yeah.
it's just they soak your
Yep.
feet and they put some
Mhm.
kind of powdery thing in there. I don't know what it is, a softener, whatever it is.
Also, my cold plunge tub is a big Rubbermaid tub that I got at a farm implement store. It's 100 quart or 100 gallon. I was gonna say quart, that's not right. 100 gallon. And so I fill it outdoors. So if you don't have a tub indoors, it's
Yeah.
very inexpensive to create something that you can do outdoors if you have some privacy. You can fill a tub, you can still put all the things in it. You can still make
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
you can share it, you can share it with family. You can incorporate your kids into the process. Do you know what I mean? Put your swimsuits on, make it a really fun experience. So there's a way to do it that doesn't have to, yeah, include a relaxing indoors bath if that's not
Mhm,
your
mhm.
jam. Yep.
It's funny because she just mentioned that she does plenty of dishes and cleaning, and it's so funny because we're in water a lot, like, whether it's cleaning,
Yes.
like, even when I'm cleaning my bathtub and I step into the tub and I'm cleaning with
Yeah.
water, it
Yeah.
just feels so good, like, so
Yes.
even your cleaning ritual, I guess,
Yep.
you know
Hmm?
yeah, no, I know, I figured you might have been busy when we were talking about that, but in her book too, she has a lot of solutions for, if you don't have a bathtub, and I love the fact that you bought something and you turned it
Yeah.
into a cold plunge thing, that is
It's
so
really funny.
cool.
People just get totally perplexed when they come in my backyard and there's this feed
This
tub in
thing,
the
right?
backyard. But
Yeah,
it's easy to
yeah,
clean and it's easy to
yeah,
empty and fill, and it
yeah.
doesn't take up a bunch of space. So, yeah.
And I've seen people buy, like, barrels, wooden, like, whiskey
Yep.
barrels, and
Whiskey
they
barrel
collect
would work.
water. Yeah,
Mhm.
they collect water, and I'm thinking how great would it be to plunge into that too?
Yes. Yes.
Because it's a
Yeah.
small it's not
Yep.
threatening in any way, right? So I guess you could
Oh
turn
my
that into a bath.
God. Have it collect rainwater for a period of time
Yeah.
and get in it. Oh my gosh, I want to try that. That sounds really amazing and powerful.
I've even been tempted to do that. Like,
Yes.
that's why when you said there's a lot of people interested in this topic, it's so true because, you're seeing things and trying to think outside the box, and I
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that idea. So, yeah, your book covers the sex magic, which I think is great. And, you can I know for me, like, it's a very sensual thing to
Mhm.
take a bath by yourself,
Yes.
right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, heavens. Yeah, and
Yeah,
your
right.
most of your ritual baths will probably be alone, but
Yeah,
it's an option if you are curious about how to raise energy and transfer energy for a positive outcome between you and your partner. That's a great thing to consider and try out. It's
absolutely.
Most of this stuff is a little awkward at first. I want to just say, like, there's no room for perfection here. You don't have to look like, how you might in a magazine. We're not comparing
Mm,
ourselves to we're not comparing ourselves to anybody else. We're going into this like, I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna gather a few things together.
yeah,
This is what I've got to work with. Give it a shot. See how it feels. Go in with intentions. Set those
yes.
intentions. Release into the bath. Feel the magic of that experience, and then come out and see if it's something that you liked and what you need to tweak about it or what you want to add to it.
Yeah, because
Um,
it'll
yeah,
evolve, I guess, right?
it'll evolve.
It'll
Yeah.
evolve, yeah. You also covered something I loved. You addressed the awakening or, yeah, I guess the awakening of the third eye
Yeah.
of,
Mhm.
and I love that and just last night, I did a pre-recorded show with someone I absolutely follow and adore. His name is Peter Pangore, and he's had 2 near-death experiences, and we were talking the whole show about the third eye and how to, um, like, spiritually develop it and awaken it.
Yeah.
That's going to air on Thanksgiving, folks, for you guys that are
Ooh.
listening because Thanksgiving, I'm going to be out enjoying Thanksgiving. And I thought it would be such a wonderful show for folks maybe to watch after they eat or whatever. So
Mhm.
you cover this in your book too.
Mhm.
Everybody knows that is into this topic that our pineal glands have been continually calcified by our drinking water.
Mhm.
So we were talking about techniques to use, whether it's breathing, yoga, there's so many different things you can do to decalcify the
Mhm.
pineal gland or pineal gland, whatever way people
Mhm.
say it. What
Mhm.
do you do? Do you do anything specifically to work on that, especially as a spiritual, intuitive
Mhm.
individual? What do
Mhm.
you do
Yeah, so
to
I can't specifically address the pineal gland classification. I'm not really sure because I don't have enough of a backdrop in that. But
yeah.
I will say, because my background is as a mentor for other people around their spiritual gifts and psychic abilities, that I know that the element is associated with enhanced intuition. And
Mhm,
so connecting with the water element to me, when you're in the bath, you relax your senses, you
mhm.
relax your nervous system. When you create the right conditions for yourself to actually receive psychic information, to me, it's more about the conditions that being in a ritual bath sets up for you to naturally express your own psychic abilities, like whether you're hearing or receiving messages from a spirit guide, or if you have a tarot deck with you, you do a tarot spread when you're in the tub. It's going to relax your third eye. It's going to help you see things. You can gaze into the water, and just like a crystal ball, like scrying, the water can become
Oh,
a
I like that.
tool, so it can reflect back on your inner vision. So I wish I could speak about how a ritual bath can help decalcify your pineal gland. I'm not really sure, but I know that it enhances psychic gifts and abilities. I get some of the best messages and insights when I'm really in a jam. If I'm in a ritual bath, a lot of clarity can come for
Oh,
me in
nice.
those moments. And so that is something to consider if you are someone who is actively on a path of psychic development or spiritual development. That's going to help you out as well.
Yeah, and I love how you mentioned using candles and kinda use them to scry because
Yeah.
you can and I love candles in my
Yeah.
even when I take a shower, sometimes I'll
Mhm.
light some candles, and that's, I think, our fascination with fire too. Why do we
Yeah.
love fireplaces, staring into them, right? So it's definitely got a mystical proponent to it
Yeah.
that a lot of people don't realize. And I hear so many people talking, "Oh, I just love sitting there and staring into a fire." And, other it is romantic, absolutely. It's a romantic thing to do. But I think when you're in your bathtub and you're using the candle and staring into it, you're
Yes.
kind of creating, like a meditation, right? So I
It's
think that could help
yeah.
decalcify.
It's very stimulating. Fire is stimulating, and it for centuries has been known to be a way to cross the veil. So if you're in the presence of fire, that's why um, ancient
Yeah.
tribes around the world during their spiritual practices are around a fire because dancing around a fire, moving their bodies, and connecting beyond the veil.
Mhm.
That's what the fire element does for us. It actually sort of summons whatever kinds of energies into the space that we want to interact and engage with. And so, learning how to use fire and connect with the fire element, I believe, yes, that absolutely does help um, activate your third eye and pineal gland for sure.
Good. So you could just bring candles into your shower, and always be careful, guys, like, with,
Yeah.
when you're lighting candles. Yeah, I'm, like, super paranoid about them. Like, I
Yeah.
always have,
Yep.
like, a candle inside of a bowl or
Yep.
something in case, like, the
Yep.
wax spills or something like that.
Yep.
So you wanna be careful.
Mhm.
Um, Heidi, you have found clarity. How so? Tell us. I
Please,
wanna
I would
know.
love to hear it.
Exactly, yeah, yeah. Oh my goodness. So, to step away from your book for a second, I'm kind of fascinated with your backstory too. And each of us find our own path into spirituality in very different ways. And I know you said you had some grief,
Mhm.
some loss, and it's
Yeah.
amazing how things like that kind of
Mhm.
compel you
For
into
sure.
finding they kind of like navigate you to this
Yeah,
path, right?
for sure.
So were you spiritual at all before that? Like as a child, you never had any paranormal experiences, nothing, right?
So I can't say that I had paranormal experiences, but I do remember I have a distinct memory of waking up in the middle of the night and seeing and feeling the presence of. Okay, so that is paranormal. I guess I have to say it is paranormal.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like, okay, that's paranormal, totally. But I was also like constantly out in my yard, in the backyard with the hoses and the water and the buckets and the I'd take all mom's dishes outside and I'd be making the mud pies and taking flowers off the plants. So I knew I was more comfortable in that space. It was very healing. It was like something that I needed to do as a kid that just brought me back to balance. And I'd come in with mud under my nails and my mom would be mad and I'd wrecked her flowers again. But so I remember like tapping, like as an adult looking back and going, wow, I really was pretty obsessed with the
Yeah.
earth and working in nature and having and developing a relationship. The pine cones were my dolls and, doing stuff like that. Like they were my little family and I would talk to them and I had a very vibrant imagination.
Mhm.
So yeah, I do remember stuff like that. I do. Yeah.
Yeah. So you call yourself a medium, and I would imagine I didn't look at your services, but I would
Mhm.
imagine that you offer services. Like, do you do
Mhm.
readings for people,
Yeah.
like tarot cards and stuff? What
I'm
exactly do you
I'm
do?
tarot and astrology number one. So I work with a chart. Your tarot readings are so flexible and can be done on almost any topic. But astrology, I am a predictive astrologist, so upcoming cycles and changes in your life. I also utilize astrology in my psychic development practice. So I tap a person's astrology chart to understand their psychic abilities and spiritual gifts. And then we build a mentoring program around that. I also access the astrology chart to see ancestral wounds. So I do ancestral wounds chart astrology.
Oh, nice.
And then I am also an evolutionary astrologist. I have been studying astrology since the late 90s pretty
Oh,
religiously. And
wow.
so I built my practice around that. That's the core focus of my practice. Tarot also comes into it. I have clients to this day that just come to me for regular yearly tarot readings, or to connect with their loved ones. And I connect with the loved ones through a conversation. And it does incorporate cards. And some people are uncomfortable with that, but I open a conversation and a dialogue, and you get to ask questions with who you want to connect with.
So, are you connecting spiritually with a loved one, or are you doing it through the cards, like, and just kind of
I do
having
it
them.
both, both. The conversation is what, because I have such clear inner listening skills. Words come to me, whole thought patterns, answers, and then the tarot helps me shape
Yeah,
what
guide you.
what I'm hearing. Yep, yep. So
Wow. Did you ever have, like, out of body experiences, as you progressed through your journey? Like,
I tried. That's actually how, like, my spiritual practice kind of started. I was religiously practicing meditation to try to have an out of body experience. I can't claim that I've ever had one. But
mm,
what accidentally happened was that I actually met my spiritual guide. And then I started to connect with my family members that were crossed over. And
mm,
that's so here I was accidentally introduced to all of these other beings through the experience of meditation, which is why my very first book was Meditations for Psychic Development, and my second book was Meditation and Tarot, because meditation was a core foundation of how I came into my own psychic abilities.
yeah, yeah. Well, we're all capable of these abilities. They're all gifted to us,
Mhm.
by our creator, and I think that's such an excellent tool for folks. I have to read one of those books of yours. I would love to read one because, we're always on a journey to develop these God-given tools in a more prophetic way. Like, my intuition, I can't control it. It just comes when it comes and it goes when it goes. And I think most people feel that way. But if you can tap into that
Mhm.
and learn how to develop it, I think it's awesome.
Mhm.
And like I said, we're all capable of doing
Yeah.
that. Where are you more proficient in all of the clairs? Like,
Definitely clairaudience, which is clear
yeah,
hearing. Yep, and then
yeah.
clairvoyance would be right short behind that. And followed by then clear knowing, which is claircognizance. And
Mhm.
then I think clear feeling or clairsentience is, I can't say it's my least, but it's something that I'm working to enhance and
Yeah,
improve.
yeah.
Um,
And that's
I
a tough one.
mhm,
That's a tough one, and only because as an empath, that's like my primary
yeah,
clair,
sure.
and you have to, really be careful with boundaries
Yeah,
because
for
people
sure.
tap into that and pick up on that, and,
Yeah.
like, it took me decades to really kinda
Mhm.
navigate my way around that, and, back in the day, nobody talked about these things, so it's such a great thing
So
now that we're. Yeah,
thank God. I mean,
yeah,
before that you could look it up online, I was getting in my car and driving around to find metaphysical shops where people were teaching classes and or having conversations about it, because
yeah,
that was the only way to learn back then. Like,
yeah,
what book should I be reading? What teachers should I be following? You had to actually show up in a building and have a conversation with somebody, and
yeah,
I'm kind of miss those days sometimes because it
mm,
seems like there's so much. I mean, I'm grateful that we have access points to more information,
yeah.
but it was a really special time of awakening for sure.
Yeah, very different than today,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah,
A little too judgy for me, like I said, people were so judgy of it.
y- yep,
Um,
that's
you
true.
couldn't yeah, you couldn't really like, I never would have those conversations with anybody back in the day. I mean, my husband, yeah, but other than that, like parents, sisters, no, brothers, even close friends, um and it's funny how they immediately tie it to witchcraft. It's like they go
Yeah,
right there.
way
Like,
overboard, always,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. Oh my gosh. No,
And it's
but
like
I
the
did it too.
furthest.
I did it too, though. I was when somebody said, "Hey, can I do a tarot reading for you?" I was
Yeah,
like, "No,
yeah,
that's that's a cult." And they're like, "Ha
right,
ha, it's not. Have a glass of wine.
yeah,
Let's do a tarot reading."
right,
And then
right.
blown. My mind was blown. It's like just to be open to something, to give it a try. It may or may not be for you, but like just
Yeah,
keeping your mind open about what's
absolutely.
possible.
It's all about intention, everything. It's funny too because I always laugh. Some of the people that think these things are witchy, they'll knock on wood and they'll throw salt over their shoulder and they'll do all these right? They'll do all these pagan things, but then they'll condemn you
Yeah.
for, like, wanting to read tarot cards. It's
Oh my
funny.
gosh, Carol Ann, don't even get me going on that topic. We could talk a whole hour about how much we practice in our society that is based
Yes.
on these practices and crafts and yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
even the Catholic like, I was, Catholic school, the whole thing. There's so much pagan ritual built into that. But
Yes.
they'll deny it.
Yeah.
And, I mean, just
Yep.
go to church one day and you'll see the sage and
Yeah.
the wine and just
Yep.
it's full of ritual.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
it's kinda
It is.
crazy.
It
Yeah.
is.
But I do love that, and I love Llewellyn Publishing. I've met so many wonderful people like yourself.
Aw.
I would love to get a book published through them myself. There's
Yeah.
like, I wanna
Go
write
for it. Go
The
for it.
Empath's Guide to Survival. That's like the book.
Go, do it. Do
Yeah.
it. That would be really popular. A lot of people would need
Thank
that.
you.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
because I've got a survival guide, let me tell
Oh,
you. It's
of
oh,
course, it's all in your head just waiting to be
absolutely.
told. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's funny because I like, every now and then I get compelled to write, like, you get these downloads, and I'll
Yes.
write, like, a page and write, like, another page, and then I get busy with life and this stuff because I love doing this, and, oh, thank you, Heidi. She's always so sweet.
Do it. Yes, I agree. Do it.
Isn't it funny too how a book like, you were inspired to write this book.
Mhm.
What
Mhm.
other books have you written? How many other books? And I apologize for not knowing. I
Okay.
should have
You're
done the
no,
research.
you're fine. The first book, baby, was Meditations for Psychic Development. And then the second book, baby, was Meditation and Tarot, which combines meditation practices and learning the tarot. I
Mhm.
was a guest author on a book called Finding Your Calm, which had
Oh,
each individual chapters written by a different uh, practitioner exploring a different modality that you can utilize to bring yourself into a calm state. And so that's a really nice book. And then the Book of Ritual Baths, of course. And then in 2027, the launch of the a past lives for beginners will. Um,
oh, I love that.
yes, yeah, yeah,
We have to have you back and talk
yeah,
about that.
yeah. That's gonna be that is a fun topic. I'm a past
It's
life trained.
huge right now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a
Have you
fabulous
noticed that
field.
people are asking you
Yeah,
about that? Or
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
it's huge right now.
Yeah, it's that is having a resurgence as well right now. I know it was really big in like the 2000 or mid 2000s. Past life exploration was really big, and combining it with hypnosis. And then, I mean, we've been doing past life regression for decades, but I just noticed an uptick in, and then I got trained and certified in past life regression around that time so I could offer it to my clients. And then it took a dive for a while, and now it's coming back.
Yeah.
Which
Isn't
really
that
exciting.
interesting?
It's
Yeah,
very
that's so
exciting.
interesting. How and now that we're having this spiritual awakening, this
Mhm.
is a great time for folks like us, right?
Yeah, it is. It is. Follow your passions and keep exploring spiritually. It's such a wonderful time to
Yeah,
expand and open your mind and open your heart to all the different things. And it's the way that we grow and evolve as as spirits. It's the way that we grow and evolve. It's
yeah.
wonderful. It's wonderful.
And the funny thing is people think that, oh, if you authored a book, you made so much money. When I found out how much the writers get paid,
Mm.
I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
So it's really a passion project,
It
right?
project. It is
Yeah,
absolutely a project. And at that point, it becomes more important to you that you get your thoughts and your wisdom into some sort of form, and to me at this phase of my life, this is my legacy, so I'm writing
Yes,
and leaving behind wisdom, which I feel like anybody that has, knowledge to share, there's always somebody to read what we write. There aren't,
absolutely.
everybody's like, oh, it's just that there's so many books and everybody wants to write a book. And it's like, so it doesn't mean that like there's too many. Do you know what I'm saying? Like the more the merrier, because
I
we
agree.
get because I can attest to the fact of not having access to a ton of things back in the late 90s, and I would have loved to have had the options that we have now to read and
Oh, yeah.
explore. So share your knowledge, write your book. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and I love the fact that we have audiobooks. Like I'm more of a PDF
Mhm.
book person because I like to read it on my tablet, on my computer, and I'll sit here and I'll knock out a book in a few hours.
Yep.
But I love the concept of audiobook. Have you done any audio
So
translations?
So what happens in a contract with like Llewellyn, for example, is that you get a choice. Either they'll retain the audio book rights or the author will hold the audio book rights. I was given that as an option. I decided to decline because I knew that was not a project I was ever going to take on. So what ends up happening is that a lot of traditional publishing companies will work with a third party who will actually decide what books they will make into an audiobook. So
Oh,
that's not something that's up to me. And so I hope that I do, but I can record my meditations and like post them on my YouTube channel,
I was
which is
just going to
something.
ask you.
Yep, I would like to. My YouTube channel is undergoing um an upgrade. And so I'm going to be adding some new things to it as we move forward. And I've been asked so many times by my clients, can you please record your meditations and put them on your YouTube channel? And I can. And so I think I'm going to opt for that. And then we'll see what happens. Um, I'll be 4 books in at some point. One of them is going to be transferred into either other languages or into an
Oh,
audio book.
nice.
So yeah, yep,
So you're prohibited from actually recording an audiobook and like putting it on YouTube.
yep. That
Like you
I
couldn't
can't
do that
do that. No,
yourself, right? Right.
not
Well, that
legally.
makes sense,
It's
really. I mean,
contractual, so there's
yeah,
legal, reasons why
yeah,
that would.
but you could do your meditations
Yeah,
and you could get and I could you use your book like passages from it for
yep.
inspiration?
Oh yeah, I
Yeah,
can
I
make.
would imagine.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep,
Because that's a good way to promote the
for sure.
book as well. I mean,
Absolutely.
other than doing these podcasts. So, and
Hmm.
I love discovering books like yours. Like I'll
Yeah,
read 3 different,
yeah,
completely different books a week and you just
yeah.
get and like you said, somebody could write about the same topic, 10
Hmm.
different people, and
That's
you
right.
learn 10 different ways
Yep,
of
yep.
implementing that into your life. So, yeah,
No
it's
two people
wonderful.
have the same story. No two people have the same
Exactly.
entry point or hold the same wisdom, and so everybody's perspective is different, and your people are going to want to read what you have to say, not necessarily about what somebody else has to say about it, you
Yeah, I
know.
love that, I love that. So
Mhm.
what are you working on as we wrap this interview up,
Oh
which I
my god.
love, by the way. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Oh, me too. This was so much fun. I love this topic so much. I'm working on, so I'm right in the heart of editing the past lives for beginners book. Right now, I'm still in launch mode around the Book of Ritual Baths. So I have some launch parties coming up where I'll be doing
Nice.
tarot, and then we're going to have a live bath bar where you can come and like make your own bath salts, and then we'll talk about
Oh, that's
so
fun.
yeah, so the holidays for me are just going to be around promoting my book in my community, and I do community education classes. I teach tarot. I don't have anything right now scheduled for, but I do a ton of online classes, and I know January and February there will likely be some online classes. So people should really go and check out my website, subscribe to my newsletter list, check me out on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. Check out my
Shanda,
YouTube.
spell that out for us. I mean, I have it
Yeah.
running across the screen,
Yep.
Parkinson.com, but
Yep.
we have a lot of audio
Yeah.
listeners
No,
too.
that's
So,
great. That's
yeah.
perfect. I love that. Chanda, Shanda, like panda with a CH, Chanda Parkinson, PARKINSON.com.
Wonderful. Isn't it great when you can use your name as a URL?
Yeah.
It's
Yes. And like,
wonderful.
it's
Yeah,
not out there. Nobody else has
exactly. Right. It's uniquely yours, uniquely yours.
it.
This has been a wonderful conversation. I
Yeah,
had so much fun,
me too.
so
Me
informative. And like I said, I can't
too.
wait to do my first ritual bath. It's going to be this weekend on
You need to
Sunday. I
let
have
me
the
know how
day.
it goes. You
Oh,
drop me a
thank
note
you.
and tell me how it goes and how you liked it. I'm gonna be so excited to hear about it. Yeah.
Oh, are you saying who you tried tagging? Oh, for the network. Heidi is such, and so is Mish, and so is Patsy. We have so many people that love United Public Radio, and they're such amazing
That's all.
sharers. They're
That's
always
awesome.
sharing stuff. It's just they're the
Thank
best.
you. Thank you, Heidi. Thank you, listeners, for coming and listening to this conversation. I'm always humbled when people show up to these and want to hear what I have to say. So I'm appreciative.
Oh, Shanda, she tried tagging you. She does that when she shares.
Okay.
You're under Chanda Parkinson psychic medium, right? That's how I tagged you. No,
No,
how
I'm
did I tag you?
so I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
I could have swore on Facebook.
So
Heidi, go
it's
on
Shanda
my
Parkinson. My Facebook is Shanda Parkinson, comma, psychic intuitive.
that's it.
That's
That's
what,
the one I tagged
yeah.
you with.
I have a personal Facebook that's just Shanda Parkinson. And so don't take that one. That's gonna go away. But I have my business site is Shanda Parkinson, psychic
Psychic
intuitive.
intuitive. That's how I tagged you when I was
Okay.
sharing the show today.
Okay.
So, Heidi, yes, these conversations are my sanity too. And there's so many amazing people on this network, and we don't get paid. There's no monetary gain other than just sharing the knowledge and
Yeah.
getting the joys of reading books from authors like you.
Hmm.
So, oh, so she found it. Psychic medium account. Yes, I saw that. Okay, so I think she found
Thank
you to
you,
tag.
Heidi. Thank you, and Carol Ann. You're wonderful. You're wonderful. This was a great
Oh,
conversation and interview.
thank you. I greatly appreciate that. And I will be emailing you because I want to set up a show with you after the holidays to do the past life thing.
That would be fun. Oh my gosh, I will love that. Yeah, that's going to be a fun topic for sure.
Wonderful. You'll get an email with some dates that you can pick from because I'm already scheduling it to January and February, and we'll definitely have it locked in.
Cool. Awesome. I look
Thank
forward
you.
to
Thank you so much. God bless.
God
Take
bless.
care, dear.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye bye. Oh, that was so much fun. Oh my goodness. I enjoyed every moment of that. And of course, I want to thank everybody in the chat, those of you that are vocal and those of you that aren't. You're always it's such a blessing to have you here. And thank you all for tuning in. You've been listening to Ethereal Encounters Unveiled live on United Public Radio Network and the UFO Paranormal Radio Network. 105.3 on the Gulf Coast and 107.7 FM in New Orleans. This was a truly illuminating topic. We hope that you check out the book. You can get the link to it in the description. Please be sure and subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's such a blessing when you do support us. Thank you so much. God bless everyone. Love you all dearly in the chat. Thank you, all of you. And thank you, Mish. Thank you, everyone. Heidi, of course. And I will see you tomorrow. I have a really exciting show. I know that we're at our 2 hour mark, but I think I'll have 10 seconds to tell you. I have Nico the Medium on tomorrow, and that's going to be at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And he's going to talk about trance mediumship and the funnel of consciousness, human self versus human identity. And he is one of the most amazing trans psychics out there. So definitely join in tomorrow. I'm so excited to be able to speak with him. So bye, everyone. God bless. Love you all. Take care.